September 26, 1989. It was a Tuesday morning in New York City. The air was crisp and the streets were filled with the usual hum of the morning commute. For the residents of the Channel 6 news building, it was just another day of analog broadcasts. No one knew that by 10:14 a.m. the fundamental laws of physics would simply cease to exist. Today, we're examining what would later be classified as the Sky Turtle Collapse. At the time, it wasn't considered an event. It started inside the Channel 6 news building, as something no one could immediately explain. Early reports didn't describe a coordinated incident, just a series of unexplained disruptions affecting the building. What those disruptions actually were was far more serious than initially understood. Let's review the evidence. Among the materials later reviewed was archived Channel 6 audio, capturing reporter April O'Neil attempting to call for assistance as the disruption began. During the call, she made contact with Leonardo, one of the Ninja Turtles, who indicated that Shredder and Krang were likely involved.
This is Leonardo. What's up?
We are. Something's gone crazy with gravity.
Tell me about it. We're having the same problem.
What do you think is causing it?
My guess is it has something to do with Shredder and Krang.
At the time, that claim could not be verified. The names mentioned, Shredder and Krang, were not confirmed, but the possibility of external involvement was becoming difficult to ignore. Returning to the scene, the first signs were subtle, objects failing to remain in place, equipment shifting slightly without cause, a gradual loss of stability that at first appeared isolated. Then, within moments, it became clear this was not an isolated issue. What had been described as minor disruptions began affecting the entire structure. The event did not remain contained. What began inside the building started to extend beyond it. Reports from surrounding areas described similar conditions, objects lifting, movement becoming unpredictable, and localized shifts in gravitational force. In some areas, the effect intensified. By this point, the effects across the city had been documented, but the cause had not. That changed with recovered footage. Footage captured beneath the city within the sewer system showed a device positioned below street level, a system capable of altering gravitational conditions above, which would explain the pattern, the loss of control. And at that point, the earlier call began to carry more weight. Going back to the exchange between April and Leonardo, a suspicion had already been raised, that Shredder and Krang are most likely responsible. With Shredder and Krang now at the centre of the investigation, the situation becomes easier to piece together. What had been separate accounts, reports from April O'Neil, and observations from the Turtles no longer stand on their own. They connected. And when paired with recovered footage from beneath the city, a clearer picture begins to take shape. Based on the available evidence, a sequence begins to emerge. The device appears to have been used to reduce gravitational force, resulting in the initial loss of stability. That effect did not remain constant. Subsequent fluctuations suggest the system was then adjusted, shifting from reduced gravity to increased pressure, which would account for the transition from uncontrolled lifting to restricted movement and structural strain. At some point, the system appears to have reached its limits, but it did not fail on its own. Accounts and footage indicate that intervention took place. The Turtles were able to locate the source beneath the city and disrupt the device. The result was immediate. Gravity returned without warning. In the aftermath, conditions across the city returned to normal. Structural damage was contained. Emergency services regained control. The immediate effects of the disruption began to subside. The device itself was destroyed. Shredder was able to escape and was not apprehended. No further incidents were reported. Case file: Shredder and Krang. Charges include deployment of an unauthorized gravity manipulation device beneath the city, deliberate alteration of gravitational conditions across populated areas, reckless endangerment of civilians, damage to public infrastructure, evasion of capture. Status: unresolved. If you have thoughts on this case, feel free to share them. And if you want more like this, consider subscribing. This is Saturday Morning Crime.